Edison Lopez, age 41, lived in a fourth-story apartment at 328 West 86th Street in Manhattan. Manhattan, New York is a borough of New York City. It's the most densely populated borough in New York, and New York City's most heavily visited borough. Some most notable attractions are Central Park, Times Square, the Empire State Building, the Rockefeller Center, Grand Central Terminal, the Statue of Liberty, American Museum of Natural History, Fifth Avenue, and much more. It has a population of 1.6 million citizens. Lopez was the son of Venezuelan immigrants. His father, Mauro Lopez, was the former superintendent of the same building. He followed in his father's footsteps. Edison was the superintendent of the apartment building that he and his family lived in. Edison was engaged to be married to his longtime girlfriend, 39-year-old Alexandria Wietek. Her family immigrated from Poland. She was a former teacher at Rodef Sholom School. She currently was a stay-at-home mom. The couple met when they were children, and went to high school together at Public Beacon High School. Her father was the doorman across the street from the building where Edison's father worked as a superintendent. The two grew up playing together. The two parted ways after they graduated high school, but reconnected years later when they were both in their 30s. The couple had two young sons, 3-year-old Lucien, and 1-year-old Calvin. Lucien and Calvin loved story time with their mom. They enjoyed playing with their toys, and captured everyone's hearts. Alexandra was proud of her heritage, and shared her culture and language with her boys. Recently the family was planning on moving to a new area in Westchester County for a new job. It was just 20 minutes north of Manhattan. Edison and Alexandra were excited about the upcoming move to a much larger apartment. Their current apartment only had one bedroom, and with two small children it was becoming cramped. This move would mean taking a new job as superintendent at a new apartment building. Edison put in his notice. He had to move out of the apartment by September 1st. The family was excited about the move. A new superintendent was hired to replace him at the current building the family currently lived in. And he was hired as the new superintendent at the building he was moving to. However, as the move date approached, he was notified by the building management that the new apartment would not be ready in time. This put Edison in a dreadful situation. His current apartment had to be vacated by September 1st, yet he had nowhere to move his family to. Friends and neighbors noticed he was depressed over the moving situation. On the morning of Monday, August 28th in 2023, Edison, Alexandra, and their two small children went with other family members to the Intrepid Sea, Air and Space Museum in Manhattan. Sometime after the family arrived home, Edison stabbed his fiancée Alexandra multiple times. He then stabbed his 3-year-old son Lucien and his 1-year-old son Calvin. Once he was sure his family was dead, he went to his bedroom and sliced his own throat. On Monday, family members became extremely concerned when no one heard anything from the family since returning from their trip to the museum. The children missed a playdate, and the children were not dropped off for their grandmother as planned. Edison's father, also a superintendent of another building, decided to check on the family. He decided to get his daughter-in-law's brother, who also was a superintendent of a nearby building, to check on the family. The two knocked on the door numerous times with no response. They decided to drill out the peephole. When they peeked in, they were horrified to see blood everywhere, and Alexandra motionless on the floor. They immediately called 911. When police arrived, they forced entry into the home and discovered a gruesome scene. Alexandra's lifeless body was found in the hallway. Lucien and Calvin were found in their bedroom. All had numerous stab wounds, and their throats were slit. 2 large kitchen knives were found near the bodies. Further into the home, in the bedroom, detectives found Edison Lopez on the bed with a single, deep slice to his throat. A large kitchen knife was found near his hand. All members of the family were deceased. After a thorough investigation, it was determined that Edison Lopez murdered his wife and 2 sons, then committed suicide. Police believe he was stressed, due to the new apartment not being ready in time. The medical examiner determined that Edison Lopez's injuries were self-inflicted. Alexandre died of neck and chest injuries. Lucien and Calvin died of neck injuries. Investigators said they never received any domestic violence reports, and no suicide note was found. Police also said that there was nothing on social media to indicate any danger to the family. In an interview, Edison's father, Mauro Lopez, told reporters he couldn't process what happened. He said he did not believe that his son was responsible. He said, "How would you feel if you found your 2 grandchildren and your son and your daughter-in-law laying there?" Tenants of the building where the family lived said Edison was considerate, composed, and attentive. They said he often repaired their broken door hinges and dishwashers. He helped to maintain the well-kept building, and was many times seen watering plants outside during the summer. Edison and Alexandra had known each other their entire lives. They grew up together on the same block where the kids of superintendents play in Riverside Park and around the stately pre-war buildings. The tight-knit circle of people who manage the apartments of others exists within a huge network of lawyers, doctors and Broadway artists. It is also where sons almost always follow well-established paths of their fathers. Neighbors couldn't believe their kind-hearted neighbor committed the crimes.
He's like a really just decent human being. He's like a nice guy. So I have no idea what could possibly happen.
Right, because he's outgrown a 1-bedroom apartment with his family of 4. And we all were so happy for him, just thrilled that he got this upgrade and, lifestyle change and everything. Everybody was really happy. This isn't what you expect in this building, in this gorgeous neighborhood, in this very quiet building.
Him since he was a little boy and used to play stickball with the kid who is now a nighttime super in the corner. And I thought, oh, isn't it great to live on our street with this happy family? This is heartbreaking, just heartbreaking.
Alex Hawkins was a close friend of Edison's for years. He said, "It's shocking. It's so surreal to me because knowing someone who was kind-hearted, so boisterous." She continued, "You just can't wrap your mind around it." Danny Kaff, the head of the school where Alexandra taught students, told reporters, "Our community was devastated to learn of the untimely passing of our longtime, beloved teacher." A small memorial was displayed outside the building where the murders took place. On August 31 in 2023, a candlelight vigil was held for Alexandra Witek, 2-year-old Lucien, and 1-year-old Calvin. Stephanie McGraw is an anti-domestic violence advocate. She uses her pain to help others, and to raise awareness of domestic violence in her community. She spoke at the vigil.
Their life will always be remembered, and we are here today to light the candle to honor her life, to honor her children's life, and to denounce violence in our community.
McGraw is a survivor of domestic violence herself. She used her pain to help others, and to raise awareness of domestic violence in her community. She helps connect victims with much-needed resources. A GoFundMe was set up for funeral costs. Over $100,000 has been raised. Leanne Bassin posted a message on Facebook that reads, "I worked alongside Ola Witek for over a decade. I remember my first year at RSS. I was in the copy room and I overheard her talking to children in her classroom. I thought that's the type of teacher I want to be. Who is that? I told her afterwards that I admired the way she spoke to children. She was so humble, as if it wasn't a big deal at all. But it was a big deal. Teachers like Ola are once in a blue moon. She was gifted. And every child who got to have her as a teacher was incredibly lucky. There were so many more things I admired about Ola outside of her teaching. She had a presence that made everyone around her feel included and heard. Her maternal instincts came so naturally. She was made to be a mother to her two beautiful boys. Every time she spoke about them, she was glowing. After becoming a mom myself, she wanted to make sure I felt supported and told me I could text her at all hours of the night because we'd both be up feeding. She wanted to answer any questions I had about motherhood, and wanted me to know she was there if I needed a fellow Upper West Side mom friend to go for a stroll. Our hearts are shattered after this unimaginable tragedy. My deepest condolences go out to her family. Ola, you will always be loved and terribly missed. If you or someone you know is living with domestic violence, know that you are not alone. Help is just a phone call away. Reach out by calling 1-800-799-3224. Or text START to 88788. Edison Lopez appeared to be a loving family man who adored his wife and young sons. When Edison's move didn't seem to be working out, instead of trying to find a solution, he made the catastrophic decision to viciously murder his beautiful wife and adorable two sons. He chose to use a knife as his weapon. He first stabbed his wife multiple times in the chest, then slit her throat in the hallway. He then entered his son's bedroom and slit their throats. It's beyond comprehension that anyone can look into the eyes of their own small children and decide to end their precious lives. It's one thing if someone wants to take their own life, but to take the lives of others, especially children, is beyond understanding. May Alexandre, Lucien and Calvin all rest in peace. That concludes this episode. Keep your eye out for the next volume, coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.
Want to help support the channel you love, and get something in return? Simply purchase some Elizabeth's Chronicles merch. We have coffee mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, cozy blankets, beach towels, phone covers and more. Use the coupon code EC10OFF4U and get 10% off your order. The link to order is in the description area below this video. Thanks for helping Elizabeth's Chronicles continue to make the videos you love.